Consume the flesh. It's faster whale. We're in the bones.
So. So, jetzt muss ich noch mal ganz kurz gucken. Er hatte da auch eine sehr gute Taktik.
Spam these square buttons for a huge jump scare my first time here. It didn't happen, which is actually even more scary than I think something happening. Alright, so now we're going to turn to the right, turn off your camera, it turns on automatically.
Okay.
Run back to where we just came from, here's that first room, and then turn back around. Jessica's going to go run into a classroom here to the right side, we're going to follow her. And now this is where the chase begins. This is where things can start getting very dangerous for you. We're heading to the chapel. That is the name of it. This sequence in the first chapter. And this is where replaying this section over and over again is going to pay off. You cannot beat this on insane difficulty without practicing each chapter numerous times. So just forewarned, practice. When you come into this room, do not go through this door right in front of me. Just to the left. No, it's behind me. Do not go through that other door. If you try going through that door, you'll stop. You'll shake on the door. The guy behind you will come up. He'll kill you. You're stuck.
Yeah.
There's a so the game next. And then
Ja, soweit sind wir ja schon.
the opposite last bunk. Crawl under it. Wait here for this guy to come busting through the door. Let him pass. Now I'm going to keep crawling. Now kind of get up. I'm still crouching. Now I'm going to kind of go to the stairs and lure the guy down below. Once you hear the music,
Genau, und
in
jetzt
the noise, run back up the stairs, climb over that railing and drop behind him. Go around to this door here, spamming square as I'm getting close to it, spamming it to close it, and then hitting square.
so, genau, das darf man nicht vergessen. Warte kurz. Ich wurde gerade zum Essen gerufen, aber ich weiß nicht, ob es das schon gibt oder ob es nur hieß, ob wir welches wollen. Naja, warte ganz kurz, also wir probieren es mal. So. Jetzt gucken, warten wir mal ganz kurz. Das war nicht so, wie er es gemacht hat. Scheiße. So. Warten. So. So. Okay, mit der schwerste Teil ist hinter uns. Also ich finde, das ist zumindest der schwerste Teil. Ohne zu sterben zumindest.
Fuck is this?
Ich bin sehr froh, dass wir das hinter uns haben. Es gibt noch so zwei Stellen, wo ich mir so denke, aber wir haben ja den Guide, okay? So, und ich würde gerne noch einmal ganz kurz... So. Ein Balken haben wir von uns verloren. Hat uns verlassen. Okay. Bin ready.
He's in the house!
So. So, und jetzt abhauen. So. Und wieder raus. So. So. Alter. Bin ich froh, ey. Ah. Gut. Das haben wir. Nicht schlecht. Okay, falsche Richtung. Ah. Nice. So. Und dran schieben. Kurz aufladen. Hallo? Willst du aufladen? Dann nicht. Achso, jetzt, okay. Boah, Alter, wäre ich da jetzt zu nahe gekommen, wa? Oh fuck. So eine Scheiße. Diese Stelle, Alter. Was hat er gemacht? Ja, gucken wir mal.
Around this area, counterclockwise. Yes, counterclockwise.
Oh ja, was ganz anderes gemacht. Das geht also hier nicht
She
mehr.
blocked the cart path. A little hole in the fence. If you've done this, you know what I'm talking about. There's also a little hole in the fence there to our left. We're skipping that for now. Instead, she blocked the cart path. I'm sprinting around counterclockwise around this area. Counterclockwise. Yes, counterclockwise. Then we have to go to where the little hole in the fence is, and we're going to crawl through and approach the cart.
So Bullshit. Ich dachte, das wäre
You may
seine...
not be able to have time to interact with that. If that's the case, don't worry about it. She busted the fence. I'm going through the little hole now. Now, what I'm going to try to do is to get her to walk around the same circle that I just did. I'm going to try to get her to walk that way. So she's going to come back towards me, and then I have to go through this fence. She's very quick. You got to be very careful here. She's going to go back to the other side. Make sure she does completely go outside there. She might actually come back behind the fence here. But we're going to try to get her to come out. I'm leaning. I'm crouched behind the fence, but I'm leaning with the R2 button. And as she starts walking that way, I'm going to come back and push the cart. Sometimes you can actually push this all the way up to the gate. Most of the time you cannot, and that's going to be the case here. I'm going to hear her. As soon as you hear her, stop pushing. She's going to be coming from around the back corner. So now we're going to go clockwise around this area. Now, I found this strategy works most of the time for me. You may have to improvise because her pathing can be somewhat random here. I wish it wasn't the case, but this strategy I'm using here often works for me 9 out of 10 times. But again, be prepared to improvise. At this point now I can jump up. She's going to grab my leg here. Sometimes you can actually hop over this before she gets to you.
Okay.
That's how I do that part. Again, be prepared to improvise a little bit there.
Das ist ja interessant,
Basically
Alter.
using a combination of what I just did to help you get through that part. So now we're going to go into the chapel. There's a pretty lengthy
Diese Stelle, Alter, ist die schlimmste.
here.
Das hier. Ach man, naja, okay. Dann bring mich um. Ja. Okay. Ach Gott, ey, diese Stelle, ich sag's euch, eine der schlimmsten. Aber ich dachte, ich hätte mittlerweile eine gute Strategie, aber anscheinend funktioniert die nicht auf den Zellen. Na gut. Ich war darauf nicht vorbereitet, dass die da nochmal kommt, muss ich echt zugeben.
Coming.
Jesus, Blake, are you really sleeping?
I'm awake.
You should have slept last night.
Well, I had to get that hospital footage organized.
You were calling out some other woman's name.
What?
In your sleep. Jessica, I think. You know a Jessica?
Oh, no. I mean, I was dreaming about Jessica Gray from when we were kids.
Oh, yeah. I haven't thought about her in ages.
Hey, we're crossing into reservation land now. You said I'm looking for some sort of factory? Yeah. We can look, but there's nothing out here. It does look pretty empty.
All the mercury in that woman's blood, she had to have spent at least a decade downstream from some pretty heavy industry.
If you say so, man, you bought the time.
Woher hat sie das Kleid, ey?
We should record an intro while we're up here. Production value?
Sure.
Can't work my diaphragm with this thing on.
Audio's gonna be crap. We'll have to... Whoa! The fuck? Fuck! Sorry about that. Left panel's a little soft, but well, we're good.
That was exciting. Get as much of the landscape behind me as you can. You got me?
Yeah, we're good.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Have a soup pie, have a soup pie. Okay. I'm Lynn Langerman, here for newstomorrow.net. We're flying past the
Ach, was, wie ärgerlich. Da habe ich mich so gefreut, dass ich über diese Scheißstelle vorbei bin.
Hey, Lynn, I don't think you should say murdered. We don't know that.
Oh, I'll say she strangled herself to death.
That's what the police report says.
We may play this before the doctor
Oh Gott, wie
interviews. If this falls in
ärgerlich.
the first 30, we need to get the word murder in there. We should probably mention the fetus too. I mean, how it just... Here, let me try a version that can serve as an intro for the whole piece. Tell me when we're good.
Okay, we're good.
2 weeks ago, a young woman was found wandering, barefoot, pregnant, and alone on a barren stretch of highway 100 miles from the nearest... Oh!
We lost the engine. Fuck! Fuck! I killed the engine. Going down. Mayday, 1,000 feet. 500, 300, 100.
Ich überlege gerade, vielleicht sollte ich doch erstmal, bevor ich nochmal einen Versuch starte, wirklich die ganzen Kapitel nochmal üben. Wie er gesagt hat. Ich glaube, das ist am sinnvollsten. Weil sonst habe ich keine Chance, glaube ich.
We're not alone here.
Ich überlege halt gerade, was kommt denn da noch für schwere Stellen? Hier versteckt er sich für 3 Minuten locker.
And while it plays on, I am gonna go grab a cup of coffee. First, let's go talk to him, then we're gonna go hide in the confessional. I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee. I'll be at the next part, guys. Fact. I'll tell you how to do.
Ja, das
It's
ist
always in the center, wherever you're facing. That is the, and I do enjoy the conversation y'all are having.
Darauf hat sich Peter schon den ganzen Tag gefreut. Zum Glück gibt es Correga Ultra Haftcreme. Sie liefert den Halt, den er braucht und hilft.
Followed by the first Outlast, followed by Outlast 2. I like this game a lot. I fully understand the story and everything. Nothing's unclear to me. A lot of people are confused. I've done a lot of studying. I played this game so many times, read all the collectibles. On my channel, I have all the school recordings. You know how they're blank recordings when you're recording them? If you play them backwards, there's actually a hidden message. I have a video on my channel of all of those, if you're just curious. Anyway, so now that we're back out to the area, that's where we are hiding on the ground, prone. Sprint around here. She's coming out of that barn. Quickly get in here. As you're
Wait,
approaching
what?
this thing...
Rebalanced? Ich glaube, das sollte ich mir
Greetings,
das
everyone.
anschauen.
My name is Brian, and this is PS4 Trophies. Now, Outlast recently put out a patch 1.03, which did global rebalancing on the game difficulty. That includes normal all the way through insane difficulty. Now, I did a complete insane walkthrough guide a couple weeks ago, and really, some of the strategies in that will kill you now under the game's new rules. They changed encounters, added enemies in certain places, changed the location of them, in some cases removed enemies. So I'm going to do a 60-minute supercut where I'm just going to show you all the game's encounters. I'm going to cut out any area where you're just walking and talking and cutscenes and things like that. So this is just going to be a supercut of all of the areas where you can potentially die. Well, I'm going to cut out all the jumps. I think you guys don't need me to tell you how to jump. So first off, at the very beginning here, to the left of the helicopter, if there's some bandages. We want to pick those up. Those come in handy. If you at any point you become bleeding, you're going to have to heal yourself. Bleeding will ultimately lead to a death because you're not going to be able to run so fast, and people will catch up to you and kill you. So this section here, as you come around the corner, make sure that guy runs away. And then we're going to head to our first Marta encounter. This is relatively unchanged. Some people are reporting that she kind of disappears at a certain point. I don't know really what's going on. I just do this the same way I've always done this, even pre-patch, which is make sure you regenerate your entire stamina, and then lure her, make her chase you, and then I'm going to go around the building and then around those barrels and then the other side of the building, and then run over here until we can crawl under the building and we'll be safe. So our next encounter, they actually changed this slightly. When you go into this next building, this is where you get the microphone tutorial, which, by the way, microphone use does not drain your camera battery anymore, so thank you for that. So what they did is they changed the location of a heretic that was on the other side of this door. He doesn't immediately chase you. Either they moved him or removed him from the game altogether. I'm not entirely sure. But relatively the same. Run around that corner there. Make sure it's wide enough that that second guy doesn't hit you. So a little minor change to that does make it a little easier. So after that, you're going to have a cutscene, and then you're going to reach this area where you got to swim. And we're going to go to the left side here. I don't think they changed anything here, but we're going to just sprint across here and then sprint to the right and then inside this building over here in front of us. And that'll take us to a school sequence, which won't kill you, so I'll just cut that out.
There's a lot of customizations that you can do within the mode itself. How could I?
Alright, so the cornfield. This is your first of two cornfields we're going to go through. Once you reach the hole in the fence, make sure your stamina is completely recharged. We want to be able to sprint through this entire section. So we're going to go right down the middle. As soon as we reach the center, we're going to turn to the right. There's going to be a ramp. We're going to run up and then climb over the fence. There's a heretic right there to the right, but if you're quick enough, he won't even see you.
So, ich glaube, das ist wichtig für mich.
Now, as far as I'm aware, this section is relatively unchanged from before the patch. But here's how you do it. Of course, we're going to go inside, and then we're going to immediately go crawl underneath the truck just to the right, and then wait for the two enemies that are in this room to exit the building, which they will do if you're patient enough and just wait here. You're going to see the guy come from our right,
da kann man auch warten.
around the truck to the left, and then he'll come back around and then out the front door. Maybe he'll go out the second door. There's two exits. He can do it either way. It's a little random. But either way, just be patient. As long as you stay here, we'll be fine. Now, there are a lot of changes they made to the encounters. Again, removed some enemies, moved them to a different location. But there is a couple cases where they didn't necessarily make it easier or harder, but they changed it. So following the strategies in my original Insane Guide will get you killed. There is a section in the mines, the first encounter with the heretics, which is considerably more difficult. They added an enemy, and I don't entirely know why or what they were thinking there. It was already challenging enough. Alright, so they've both left the barn, so we're just going to crawl over here, and then we're going to stand up, push this crate.
Was soll das überhaupt
So we
darstellen,
can
Alter?
climb up the broken ladder.
Ich weiß nicht mal, was das sein soll.
Now, if you are doing a single battery run, you don't want to use your battery. Basically, you want to get to the mines with half a battery, which means you're not really going to be able to use it until you get to the library. The library is where you got that maze. That's really the, well, it's not the first time we're going to use the battery, but that's where we're going to use it for the first time the most. So make sure you take your time crossing this beam. You fall, game's over. Of course, being insane difficulty, there are no checkpoints, so if you do die...
Stimmt, oh mein Gott, da braucht man ja richtig viel Batterie.
Alright, so the next area you're going to come to, the next troublesome area, is where you got to turn on the generator to turn on the elevator. So in this little village, stay away from that woman there in the center. We're going to come over here. We're going to recharge our stamina. We have to make sure we can sprint past the house up the hill there straight ahead. Because there is an enemy that will walk out the front door, so if you're quick enough, he won't see you. There's the front door. Once you get over here, crawl under the wagon. Now just wait here patiently. There is going to be someone walking
Muss ich mir
down
jetzt die
the
ganze
stairs.
Stunde hier
He will turn to
anschauen,
the
habe ich
right.
irgendwie keinen Bock drauf.
As he's going around the wagon on the right side, we're going to exit out window. She will trigger. Now what we're going to do is get her to follow us and chase us up this hill. But generally just pushing forward will most likely get you out of here. Just be careful. It won't become bleeding. But for some reason, if you just kind of walk off that roof, you bleed. And if you are bleeding, you got to make sure you heal yourself. At that point, you should have 2 bandages.
So, jetzt bin ich mal gespannt. Nur
Alright,
mal
so
so
now
zur
we're gonna
Sicherheit,
go
vielleicht hat er ja
into the
eine neue
next section
Strategie.
here. Before we do, because we used the bandage, we're going to go pick up the one that's in here. Now this section, I don't think they changed anything. There's speculation that her pathing is different. In my testing here, I've seen nothing different. I don't know how much truth there is to that, if there is anything changed. But basically the same as I did in the previous Insane video, which is kind of winging it. You're going to have to do some improvisation here. Just because her pathing is random. It's always been random. And continues to be. Alright, so now that she's blocked our path, I'm going to run counterclockwise around this area.
Ja, okay, selbe Strategie. Und dann würde ich noch gerne mal gucken,
Generally
was
how
nach
I always
dem...
do this section.
Naja,
Now we're going to
schon.
come through the hole in the fence, and she's going to bust through the fence in just a moment. Once she does, I'm going to go back through that hole I just crawled under. Sometimes you can have time to push the cart a little further. Usually you can't. So at this point now, what I'm going to try to do is get her to walk around the outside, the same path counterclockwise that I just made a moment ago. In order to do that, we need to get her to not see it, so she keeps spotting me. I'm going to make sure she's going through that open. You got to be careful here because you may think she's going one way and then she'll just double back and turn around and get you. So don't completely sell out yet. Alright, so now I'm back in the corner. I'm leaning to the right so she can't see me, but I can see her. And now she is going to go away. So now I'm going to go and push the cart. Sometimes you can push this cart all the way to the gate. Oftentimes you can't. And that's going to be the case of what happens to me here. You'll hear her coming. You hear the music. You hear her voice. She's always going to be coming from that way. So we're going to go through the hole, the opening in the fence that she broke open and go counterclockwise. Now, if you get back to the cart area and the music dies down, you're good to go. You're going to be able to push the cart all the way. If for some reason she is right behind me, I'm going to go through the fence where she broke open and kind of go through the hole and try to lure her around again just like I did earlier. In fact, we had so much time there, she didn't even grab our feet. Anyways, you're going to have to improvise a little bit there. But here's a big change.